So a hearty welcome to all of you out there. I have got a very, very special guest with me today. I'm talking to G Strydom, who is the Chief Information Officer of Manna Tribe. I am so excited to have you with me today because I think that Manna Tribe has really got a solution to a lot of NGOs struggling with the technology of receiving online donations. You know, most of our NGOs still just give their bank details to their potential donors and want them to donate via this way. But Manna Tribe has got a lovely solution. Tell us more about what can you do to help our NGOs to receive online donations.
Well, let's start off with Manna Tribe, which is a registered non-profit company. And it's, in fact, a project that we've been working on for the last 8 to 10 years, developing technology that can solve problems across the board for NGOs, churches, charities. Manna Tribe is a collaborative effort between South African and United States businesses and individuals. We all come together from the payments industry, from the loyalty industry, from technology industry, and started developing products over the last couple of years to see how can we assist parties and specifically NGOs that rely on donations. Donations is a tricky thing, so it's not like a commercial business where you make an investment in a specific technology and you expect a return on that investment. NGOs need to look after every cent, and they don't always have the money to invest in technology. All organizations are faced with 5 key challenges. A lot of challenges, but the 5 key challenges when it comes around donations, essentially, is we're living in a changing world. The behavior of people are changing continuously, and everything and everyone is going virtual. Now, this was happening before COVID-19. COVID-19, as I said, has just accelerated this process, but it is a new world we're living in. Technology and the evolving of technology is so fast. I mean, technology changes on a week-to-week basis, on a month-to-month basis. Even for those of us that are in the technology industry, it's difficult for us to keep up. I mean, for NGOs, it's virtually impossible to keep up. Another major challenge that NGOs live with is they receive donations on a month-to-month basis. Essentially, they start the month at 0 and they're relying on donations coming into the month, and they have no recurring revenue. That's been one of my key mantras all my life, is recurring revenue. How can you develop recurring revenue? Not just recurring donations, but recurring revenue per se. And we looked at how we can address those challenges. And then, as you said at the start, I mean, most existing donation methods are completely archaic. Displaying your bank details and hoping somebody that will make a donation, that's an archaic way of doing things. It does not include multiple payment types. It does not include options for once-off and recurring donations. You know, in the commercial world, when we process payments in the commercial world, whether it is in a brick and mortar shop or whether it's on an e-commerce site, the one thing we all realized is we've got to be able to let people pay with as many different payment types as they can: cash, card, mobile phone, and we've got to make that payment as easy as possible for them. They've got to be able to pay and get out. Now, the same applies to the donations world. The quicker you can get a person to get to a payment gateway, and the easier you make it for them to make the payment, and the more options you offer, that's when you have a success rate. Otherwise, you just have a huge fall-off rate of payments.
Once again, you're giving donors the option not only to which payment method they want to use, but you give them the option as to give to a cause or to give to a sector in a cause that really touches their heart. This is wonderful. What is the solution of all these 5 key challenges that you've just explained to us?
Well, as I said, we've been developing over the last couple of years in collaboration with South African and American experts, IT and payment, and across the whole board. And we developed what we call the Manna Tribe Donations Link, which in essence offers you so much different flexibility as an NGO. It addresses all these concerns, but what it is, it's a white labeled payment gateway So it's labeled in your brand so that people keep on trusting your brand. And what we've done is we've allowed multiple access points. So there's more than one way how a person that wants to make a donation can get access to your payment gateway. Once they've accessed the gateway, we give them the option: do you want to make a once-off donation, or do you want to make a recurring donation? Donation every month, or whatever the case may be. And then once they've made that decision, we offer them various payment types, which is really important, because some people have bank cards and some don't, and some want to make an EFT and some don't, and debit orders. So we've taken all these different options and put them all together into what we call the Manna Tribe donations link. Flexible donation choices at your discretion. I touched base on this, and this is probably the heart of what we're doing here. If you have flexible options, the more options you provide, the more successful you are going to be in people making a donation to you. I mean, let's just think about this for a moment. You advertise your bank account details and you ask people to go and make a payment. When they are at your premises, let's assume you're an NGO that looks after animals. People come and they see the animals and they feel emotional. They see all these animals in distress and they want to make a donation, and you give them a pamphlet to the bank account on. By the time they get home and the kids are upset and tired and hungry, and they've either forgotten about it, or if they eventually get around to make a donation, they've got to go and log into the internet banking. If they have internet banking, set up a new beneficiary, make a payment. It's quite a process. It's a very effective process. So what we focused on is right, let's make it as flexible as possible. On the spot donations, right there and then. They don't even have to drive home. While they're looking at the animals, they can make a donation. It takes them a minute to do that. If you're sitting under a tree in the bush and you get the urge to make a donation, you must be able to do that. And what we've built is, as long as you have a mobile phone signal, you can make that donation.
Absolutely.
If you look at different causes, now here's one actual example of a church that is using our donations link. They've got different causes set up in there, types and offerings, donations, welfare, youth development, for example. And what's really nice about this is we can add 4 different causes per organization, and we can change them very quickly. So if this week you want to, in an organization, support a specific school just for the week, we can put that cause in there for the week and then we can take it off. So it's very easy and a very, very, very flexible way of doing that.
I think this, to direct you back to a page where you can generate your own Article 18A tax receipt, that is fantastic, because a lot of NGOs don't actually give Article 18A certificates because maybe they don't know how. A lot of them that do generate that, it's a very labor-intensive process. I know that one of my NGOs in Cape Town, they've got to set aside a day or 5 every month to just generate their Article 18A certificates. And if all donations can end up in a page where the donor can themselves generate through the system their own Article 18A certificate, I mean, that's a no-brainer for me. I think all NGOs must make use of it that way.
Yes. So I keep on emphasizing this, but this is really what we've built, is flexibility. Flexibility that we can custom to optimize donations to your specific NGO. Because NGOs and churches and charities all have different requirements, different needs, different markets. I spoke to a church the other day that said, well, most of our members normally pay by cash, but now with COVID-19, they can't come to church and pay by cash. So what's the alternatives? How can you help us? And we assess their need and we built a solution for them.
So what we were saying, for those of you that missed that, is that our phones are the new checkbook. Like Gerard said, in the good old days, when we were at a function, the people on stage would say, come on guys, take out your checkbook, write a check now, make your donation. When now we would say, take out your phone, scan the QR code and make your donation right now.
Correct. Absolutely. This wasn't something that we just decided one day, let's build this. A lot of development, a lot of planning, a lot of research went into how can we optimize this. excuse me, so that we've got the optimum solution. So what I'd like to do is give you a sneak preview of what's coming next. So beyond our Manna Tribe to Nations link. And this is what what's going to be launched in the next couple of months. It is a payment and loyalty mobile app. And the easiest way for me to explain this is to refer to the My School card. We all know the My School card that you carry in your wallet. And at a couple of the big retailers, if you make a purchase, you swipe your My School card and a small donation is then made to your school. So we said, well, why don't we take this whole principle and embrace the latest technology, but throw it as wide as possible. So instead of just having 5 or 6 or 7 or 8 major retailers, and you can only make a donation to your school, let's build the following. Let's build a mobile payment and loyalty app. Now you use your phone, you can walk into your favorite local retailer or service providers, pay with your phone, and a donation is made to the organization that you support. So now we're taking that whole principle in new technology, and our focus very much is on local retailers. COVID-19 has just confirmed this for us. But even prior to this, local retailers, your local franchise owner, or your local baker, or your local butchery, your local plumber, your local electrician, these guys are the guys that really struggle to compete against big retail and the big organizations out there. You know, market research showed us that 45% of South Africans prefer to buy at a place where they earn some loyalty points. But now, and here's the very, very interesting thing. The same market research by the same organization, this was PricewaterhouseCoopers, I think they did the market research, says 45% of South Africans want to support their local merchants. So now you've got this chicken and egg situation. We want to buy where we earn loyalty, but we want to support our local retailers, but we can't, because local retailers don't have a loyalty program. So we've got this whole chicken and egg situation, and we said, well, let's solve that, because we can do that with the latest technology. So if we look at the Manna Tribe app, which will be launching soon, during registration, each time when you register the first time, you can choose your church, your charity, your NGO that you want to support. And then each time you pay for your purchases at all these local merchants, 2 things happen. You earn cash back, you as a user, so you earn your loyalty points, which you want, and we make a donation to the organization that the member nominated. So now we're taking this whole principle again and making open for the whole of South Africa. All the local merchants, all the local NGOs, it's not a limited thing. And because payment is based on scanning a QR code, it's easy to implement. We don't need to do big integrations. It's a very simple process in the end of the day.
That will make the whole thing just bigger and more accessible and more well known. So for those NGOs out there that says, well, I've never heard about Manna Tribe, you know, it's all going to happen. It is all going to go much bigger. Gerard, in ending off, just quickly tell us about the fees. How does the fee structure work? This all sounds wonderful, but how much is it going to cost?
Nothing.
That's wonderful. Tell us more.
So,
it's the right answer for all the NGOs out there. It's the right answer.
So our standard donations link, there's no monthly fees, there's no setup fees, there's only a transaction fee on successful donations, which the banks charge. So, you know, that we can't get around.
And I just want to add, that is the same as with any online payment platform. You're going to pay wherever, whether you're going through SnapScan or Zapper or Yoko or PayFast or Gateway or anyone, you are going to pay, you're going to lose a part of your donation. But if we compare this to something like an SMS campaign, you know, in an SMS campaign, you are very lucky if you get 50% of your money. The rest goes to all the little, well, I want to say little companies, but it's not little companies, big companies. But everybody
goes to the network.
It goes to the network. It goes to Telkom. It goes to VAT. It goes to everything. So if you just take SMS as an example, you get very little of your donation in the end, where your fees are on par with all the other online payment platforms. And there's not,
Yes, it
I
is.
love the fact that there's no monthly setup or no initial fees. That is fabulous.
Yes, no, that's how we process this. So our standard link will gives you once-off payments. It gives you recurring payments. The only thing that's not included in there is the traditional debit order processes. Debit order to set that up is expensive. It requires credit vetting. The bank retains 10% of your facility as security.
So Gerard, any last word from your side?
I think I just want to say I want to thank everybody for listening to this. I'm not a marketing guy. I'm a technical guy, so this is not my normal makeup sitting and promoting a product. So if I didn't come across as a typical salesman, forgive me. I'm not a salesman. I'm much more comfortable behind the computer. But thank you for taking the time. We really put a lot of energy into this, and go out there and make use of it.